Oh boy, it's time to talk about NFTs again. I just can't wait. So this is kind of a continuation of the first NFT video that I did. If you didn't watch that, links are up top and in the description, but if you don't want to watch it, I understand. So I'm just going to try to phrase things in a way that you don't really have to go watch it. But after all of the comments that I got in the first video, both good and bad, I decided that I really needed to jump back into this and give a bigger opinion on it, because there's a lot of points I didn't really touch on, and there's a couple things I learned along the way. Because you see, beforehand I never really shined a light on the possibilities of NFTs being good. Because believe it or not, there might be some good uses for this technology. I just think that right now NFTs are garbage, right? I mean, we're selling JPEGs of monkeys for millions of dollars. That has to be money laundering, right? I'm not the only one. As I stated before, NFTs can be anything digital, right? Movies, music, pictures, GIFs, and all of those are awful examples of NFTs. You see, all of these can be easily duplicated, right? We addressed this beforehand. These should not be NFTs. And it really doesn't help that companies like the NBA and McDonald's are selling you, clips of basketball players slam dunking or GIFs of the McRib. Fucking GIFs of the McRib, come on! But you see, there's a lot of things on the internet that can't be easily duplicated. My rule from the first video does still apply.
All digital things can be perfectly copied because that is the nature of digital things.
But for things that you don't have access to or have a high level of security to them, it makes it far harder to try to copy that data. So, would you like some good examples of NFTs? Well, here we go. I think that web addresses are probably the best starting point for this technology. They're already unique, they're already digital assets, and the fact that you can see who currently owns what website through a blockchain would be super helpful. So it makes complete sense that websites could be NFTs, right? And in fact, companies are already doing this. Unstoppable Domains is a company that is currently selling URLs much like Google Domains and GoDaddy, but instead it's through the blockchain. That means you can purchase it once and then own it forever. And if you ever want to get rid of it, well, you can sell it off or trade it with somebody, right? It's an asset. I think another interesting use case of this would be a digital pass system. Purchasing one of these NFT passes could give you a number of things. It could let you into an event, right? Maybe multiple events of different natures, physical events or digital events. Maybe the more events you go to or participate in, the NFT pass can change, right? Kind of like in Pokemon where you have your trainer card and it changes if you go beat the Elite Four or if you complete the Dex. If you have this pass, maybe you can get free stuff, you could get behind the scenes footage, maybe you could even get, backstage access if it's like a live event. Of course, this would also have an image file attached to it, right? So you could have this pass, it would change the more that you do things, and then you can compare it with friends, you can display it and whatnot. And then if you ever get bored of whatever this pass is for, guess what? It's on the blockchain. You can trade it off, right? You can sell it. Honestly, I just think that this kind of method for using NFTs is really cool. I think that there's a lot of potential behind it. Even creators could use it, right? And they could be kind of like a new Patreon service. And for my last example, bear with me here, gaming. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate the idea of Ubisoft or Activision or EA or Blizzard or Konami or pretty much any AAA game studio getting a hold of these concepts and actually using them. But if it's done correctly, and I'm not recommending this for every game, but I feel like NFTs could really power a ballin' MMO, right? Or rather, a series of MMOs that are interconnected. This reference might be lost on some people, but you know how in the anime Sword Art Online, after Kirito escapes from the first game, every game he logs into afterwards kinda glitches with him, right? Since a big story event happened that I'm not gonna spoil in this video, and since every game afterwards is built on the same engine as the first game, whenever Kirito logs into a new game, sometimes things like skills and abilities and items just kinda transfer over, even though they're not supposed to. This leads to him being very overpowered, but that's not really the point that I'm trying to make here. But what if a company actually took advantage of this idea and turned it into an actual mechanic of the games? What if we could create a character for MMOs that just transcended titles, right? You could play as this character in several different games. They would gain certain stat buffs, and you could move them around back and forth. To a bigger extent, you could even do this with items, right? You could have items flowing back and forth between games. That'd be kind of neat. Now, obviously, this could be done horribly and microtransactioned out the ass, but if it was done correctly and by the right company, I think this could be really cool. Okay, so now we have to address the elephant in the room. Most of these concepts already exist in some form without being NFTs. So why should we convert them to NFTs? What's the difference? Well, while being NFTs, it can take advantage of a lot of the technology behind blockchains and give them properties that they might not otherwise have. They're tradable, they operate on the open market, we have a super easy proof of ownership system, security is a good bonus, right? Blockchains are fairly secure, and the original creators can always get a cut with each transaction. And in a lot of cases, it just cuts out the middleman, right? Sure, these things don't need to exist as NFTs, but they do bring some advantages that I feel like we should talk about, right? I feel like we should be able to bring that up in the discussion and accept that there might be some bonuses to doing it this way. Now again, I don't think that movies, music, and pictures should be the way that we go, right? People can easily copy those. You know, you can throw them in as like bonuses or incentives, but don't do those. Those are a bad idea. You shouldn't be buying a GIF. You should be buying an experience and or an asset. But I haven't really seen any kind of company taking true advantage of this concept, right? And there's not really a way for you to properly display or take advantage of these assets. There needs to be multiple companies pushing this kind of idea at the same time, and they need to give the consumer a reason to choose NFTs, or else they're just gonna go buy it on a normal marketplace just like everything else, which may not be bad, right? Like, it may still be better for a lot of things to just be bought and sold normally, like how we do now. Honestly, I think what would really help with NFTs is if we stopped selling fucking monkeys and NBA highlights and GIFs of the McRib. I'm still angry about that. Why is there GIFs of the McRib? It's not even a good sandwich. So to wrap things up, I don't hate the technology behind NFTs and cryptocurrency and blockchains, but I do think the current state of them is not good, and it's gonna need more time to advance and for us to fully take advantage of what these things can do. I think that more things will pop up soon enough. NFTs are still dumb, but they could be cool soon. That's it for today's video. I gotta say, I would not have made this if I didn't get that many comments on the first video. And the fact that the first video has more views than any other video on my channel at this point, thank you very much. Seeing some people's arguments for NFTs really didn't change my mind about the topic, because believe it or not, I did do a lot of research for the first video, but a few people did raise a good point that I didn't give any of the possible positives. And you know what? Fair is fair. That's what this video is for. Now you know some potential positive things that NFTs can do. Honestly, it's super interesting stuff. I'm both looking forward to it and I'm absolutely terrified. Did you enjoy this video? Maybe not. Either way, let me know down below. Also, make sure to scream at me down in the comments yet again, reassuring yourself that that JPEG was really worth $10 million. Also, I've started dabbling in crypto. Ooh, maybe I'll make a video on that soon. Let me know if you want that too. You guys buying any of them funny dog coins? I'm still angry about the McRib thing. That's fucking... I'm so upset.